Hi, everyone, and welcome. It is Wednesday evening. My name is Sarah James. My name is Sarah James. We are over the hump of midweek, and I have got my friend Nealay Patel from SilverSilk and more joining me this evening. Hi, Nealay.
Hey, Sarah, and everyone that's watching. So good to be here.
It is. We were just chatting a little bit backstage, and we saw that there was already people here on YouTube watching and chiming in on comments. So, hi everyone, and thank you so much for coming to hang out with the two of us on this Wednesday evening. We've got a little bit of making, a little bit of chatting, a little bit of magical, a little bit of mystery, and a bunch of silver silk to be playing with. So, it's great to get together with you, Neelay. It always is. Thanks for taking time to hang out tonight.
Oh, thank you. This was a welcomed, I hate to say interruption in the week because it's not an interruption. It's more like just a happy spot in the week that I was looking forward to. So thank you for hosting this. This is amazing.
I agree with that. Like every time Magical Mystery Beatbox comes into play, it always feels like a happy spot. And every time I get to hang out with you, Nile, that is like a super like extra happiness. Like you and I,
Same.
yeah, we've been friends for a long time. We've been doing this thing in the creative industry for quite a while, and it's always fun to be able to get together with your pals, whether it's in person or through the screen like this.
I know. Well, the in-person seems so irregular, but
No.
doing the virtual thing has been such a godsend of a technological advancement, just because I get to see all my friends pretty regularly. Not quite in the same way, but I mean, there's always other live events like Tucson and stuff where I might catch you. But otherwise, there's always virtual stuff in the meantime. And I think it's been helpful for a lot of folks that aren't able to do the in-person classes, even at their beat
Definitely.
stores and stuff. It's like we're here, we're available all the time, and we get to teach you guys some cool stuff, use some amazing materials, and like do all these fun collaborations just pretty seamlessly.
Yeah, I couldn't echo those sentiments more. Like, we don't hang out in person all the time, but it's almost like since COVID we hang out more and we're able to be in touch with the people that we look up to and that inspire us so much. And Neela, you're just that for me. Have been such an inspiration to me in terms of a designer and as like an entrepreneur, as a trailblazer. You have been all those things for me since we met like probably 10 years ago. And I'm just so glad
Wow.
to have these collabs together.
You've been such an inspiration for me too. Like you're just a ray of sunshine all the time. You carry yourself with such
Oh,
grace, and you're a phenomenal costume designer. I'm just gonna say.
what? Well, I love a good event, love a good party,
Yeah,
love costumes, and love like a good theme.
I know.
So, Magical Mystery Beatbox, as I'm sure many of you are subscribers and this is a monthly subscription box put together by Jesse James Beads that's chock full of cool and custom made JJB products, brimming with a color theme and lots of inspiration. So, like, Neely, I want to ask you, so as a designer, okay, as a designer, what does it mean to you for like color and like thematic inspiration? Like, how does color and thematic inspiration play upon you when you are coming up with a jewelry design?
You know what's funny is I used to not prioritize it because my brain would think in black and white, and my brain would try and work on something complicated. So I think the lesson learned is that it's played such an important part for many reasons for me. Be it that it's a like color in itself is a very emotional and like a visceral thing for the soul to like
Yes.
experience and be inspired by,
Mm.
and then to invoke some sort of feeling or mood. And I think jewelry, since it's meant to be an adornment for the body, is
Yeah.
like you're combining that with a self-expression, right? So like I don't know if folks kind of just put stuff together on the fly with the wardrobe. For me, it depends on the event, right? So like if I'm trying to create an attitude, the color has to be part of the story, you know? I tend to land on a lot of greens, believe it or not, in my life. I don't know why, because it's like I look at it and I'm like, it's green, but then I pick everything up that's green. So I don't know what it is about green, but that seems to be my like rotation color.
Yeah.
What I love about a good theme is it's sort of a starting point for any sort of creation, and I think it takes the overwhelming thought process out of the equation because we all hoard stuff. I know you hoard stuff, I hoard stuff, meaning craft supplies and beads, right? Or stuff to make costumes. And it's like, where do you start with this stuff that you have laid out on your table? You know that it feels good because you're picking up the materials, you're looking at it, and you're in love with it, right? You just
Yeah.
enjoy its presence on your table.
Like the interaction that you have with the products on your
Exactly.
table. Mhm.
And I can't tell you how many times I've taken out my supplies, have gone through everything, have sorted the color story out or the textures and stuff. But then, like, about 40 minutes later, I'll just dump it back into the box because I'm like, I don't know what I want to make, but that sure did feel good. So, like, the themes play a really big role in the sense of like, if you're trying to create something and have that instant gratification, that dopamine high that, you've
Mhm.
just done something. The themes help with consolidating that thought process and getting some work done. And so that sort of leads into the point, I think, for me for the magical mystery box is it's a starting point and it could be your finishing point, but it's already like prepackaged in such a way that it's open-ended, but it gives you stuff there to work with already.
Mm.
The tutorials and the design and the collaboration with SilverSilk is like that additional point of reference. So like you have the box and then where do you go for inspiration? You go to the JJB Instagram, the reels that you guys are putting together, the influencers that you're working with, and designers that already create the stuff. And then you have the one class that's already included in the box itself. I believe it's on the card as a QR code that you can scan and get straight to
Classic.
creating. Yeah. And so Silver Silk is just another additional resource of finding inspiration that's maybe a little bit, if you will, outside of the box because it
I love that. Oh
but
my
it
gosh.
coordinate. Yeah.
You know what? And Silver Silk is so out of the box. Like the Silver Silk chains are so unique yet versatile. Like they can be applied to so many different jewelry techniques.
Mhm.
And Nealay is such like a creative genius, just y'all. Like I know that watching what Nealay comes up with jewelry designs and seeing how these products come into fruition that Silver Silk creates is just so very cool. And what an honor that us Magical Mystery Beadbox subscribers get Silver Silk every single month. Well, we have the opportunity to get Silver Silk every month to go with the Magical Mystery Beadbox that we're subscribed to from Jesse James Beads. And not only the Silver Silk, but also the projects that Nealay creates. And I like Nealay, it's just such a dream to see the Silver Silk that you come up with to go with these really cool boxes. We're talking about color, like these Silver Silk guys. It's so beautiful and unique. And I always know what we're doing at Jesse James, but then it's a surprise to me to see what you're doing, Nealay.
Yeah,
So
I
like,
feel like this
I
this
love
past
to
year
come to
especially,
life.
it was so much fun. And in terms of like putting the stuff together,
Mhm.
there's a landing page on the Silver Silk online website, silversilkonline.com, and it's dedicated specifically to Jesse James Beads in the sense that because you guys have picked out the theme for the box, all the
Yeah,
components, the beautiful beads, pendants, whatever's in it,
yeah,
and it's always a surprise. It's not always the same thing.
right,
Um, I take that into inspiration and I put together a palette of Silver
right.
Silk and the chains. The one big question I always get
Yes.
is I love Silver Silk, but I don't know what to do with
Okay.
it. Which is not really a question, I guess more of a comment, but I'm like,
A
oh,
demand.
my passion. Hmm?
It's a demand. Show me what to do with this Silver Silk
Show
now.
me the Silver Silk, what you could do with it.
Show me the projects.
And because there are specifically different lines of chain that
Yes.
I make, yes, it's very, very confusing and intimidating to work with at first glance. So part of my job at SilverSilk and More is to be the educator on what to do with it. And so I get to indulge in my dabbling of being a designer, and I was formerly for Jesse James Beads, and then
Yes.
then form my company, and I'd be like, Sarah, I can't do this because it's a lot of work. So, but now we get to come back. We kind
Here
of
we
circled
are.
back.
Here we are. You know what? It's like when a piece of beautiful nature just has to like break its way through the sidewalk in a bustling city, like we will find a way to the light. So
I
like
could not put it better.
yeah. So Nealay, you said you've got 6 different styles of silk. So every month when you're doing your coordinating with Magical Mystery Beadbox, are you doing like one each of all the different styles of silk, or is it vary from month to month?
I
I,
would say
I
it's a
don't
little of
know.
both, actually. I'm being more aware that I need to add the diversity factor to
Okay.
the amount of projects that we're creating. And so this month, especially, I was really like with the type of chains that I got to put in. So
Mm.
I picked a hollow mesh, I picked a 3 needle, I
Yeah.
picked a capture chain,
Yes.
I made a custom pipe chain with it. So
Oh,
it kind of just kind of encapsulated everything because there is like with Silver Silk, there's really no starting point. It's just a matter of finding the projects that make sense for the box and to have that instant gratification and still have a very expensive looking design at the end of it.
Jody says that she's a
Hi,
silver
Jody.
silk junkie. Hey,
Yes.
Jody. Silver
I
silk
can attest.
SSA, Silver Silk Addicts, SSAA, Silver Silk Addicts Anonymous. And she always uses it in her design. She loves that JJB and Silver Silk are working together. Yeah, Jody, me too. Every single month there's new silks. Every single month there's projects that come in your Magical Mystery bead box for one, like the QR code that Nealay said. You get 3 right off the right off the bat in your box. But then Nealay is like dripping projects out as well. And I'm hoping, Nealay, that you could show us the projects that you've taught or the projects that are upcoming and tell us where to watch them. And then if you've got any, like maybe some designs to share with us, that'd be really fun to see where your creative brain has been taking you with this month's Magical Mystery Bead Box from Jesse James and the custom chains
Oh
from
boy, a
Silver
ride
Silk.
with my creative brain.
Yeah,
I hope
creative
you're
brain
ready
from
for
one chapter down.
that. Shall I flip my camera around
Yeah,
then?
let's do it. Let's hang out.
Give me just a
Not
second.
that we're not already hanging out. Let's hang out on Neelay's bead mat.
Come to my bead mat.
Come on over to the mat. All right, I'm gonna solo layout so we can get a really good look at what Neelay's got for us.
Yeah, right on. All right. So I just did this tutorial with my YouTube channel. So Sarah mentioned where you can find my
Mm.
tutorials. And if you hop on over to YouTube and search for Silver Silk or Silver Silk and More, you'll find my entire library. There's hundreds of videos there. They're not long videos either. They're short content pieces, but they get straight to the point with what the product is, what you can do with it, how you can manipulate or string or wire wrap or pretty much anything with silver silk. And I, dabble with all of the different types of lines. Hollow mesh is one of them. And so what I've done here is I've actually just strung from let me see if I can find it real quick. One of the smaller little things of beads, because like that's what I love about the mystery box too. It's like you're not just getting big beads, you're getting the huge gamut, the variety, the ability to string small beads all the way to the larger things, including gemstones this time, which I was pretty excited about.
I love those.
Yeah, so I just made an asymmetrical bracelet. I used my own end caps and metal parts and pieces to construct it, but the beads and like the color blocking, and you guys just do color very well overall. Like that is the one thing that I've always taken away with Jesse James Beads is that you will never be sad about the colors. They're always
Mm.
going to be explosive and beautiful. Hi, Jennifer. Um, So that was one project, and I have something strung up that I could teach you guys real quick in minutes, but we'll get to that later. Another project was this little wire wrap piece, which really doesn't have any silver silk on it quite yet, but I wanted to show you just a different take on, like, I took one of the charms in there, or actually both of them, and I cut the lid
Ooh.
off, filed it down, and I glued it on the wood bead. So just kind of made a different, like, pendant, if you will, out of it. And then the metal component was already in the box as well, and which has been different again because it's always different in different boxes. But I did some wire wrap loops, which look really haphazard. Wire wrapping is not my forte, but I can definitely be a wannabe wire wrapper. But it was enough to kind of get the point across of like, hey, if you want to put some little loops at the end and make this cool little fringy pendant, then you can. And if you've got a jump ring that's big enough, you can grab some of that pipe chain I was talking about and loop it right through. Maybe. There we go. The wire's fighting against me. There we go. Anyway, you can loop that right through, and you've got like a nice little necklace piece on the go.
That is so cool, Nealay. I love that.
Thank you. And again, if that wasn't, if you don't want to use a pipe chain, of course, I've got that baby blue as well, which works pretty good if you're trying to really color block and add a whole different palette.
I love it. The blue is, wow. That is so stunning.
I know, isn't it fun?
I love how SilverSilk chains, if I can just pause us for a minute here. I love how you can incorporate SilverSilk into your design and make it like totally a creative, unique, like wild component. Or you can just use it like literally as a chain, like design a pendant or like have a pendant in your stash. And the SilverSilk just becomes a really cool and unique, intriguing chain for the neck.
Yeah, I've always said you can, let's see, how did I phrase it? You can string it, wrap it, wire it, or leave it naked.
Oh, sassy.
It's very sassy. It's a sassy product, like the person that makes it is sassy. So yeah, that was a quick little pendant idea. Again, there are pictures on my website on the Jesse James Bead landing page, and that'll kind of freeze it and frame to give you guys like how it looks, in a better view. But this one I just did some simple stringing, and in fact I used these little ball chain stoppers at the end. And I used the big beads with the holes to cover it. So my intention was to use some E6000 and then just kind of stick it on and, not bother with it after that. I haven't gotten quite to that yet. But you could see that the big bead just covers it right up with the chain. And so you've got this really like seamless, and I have no clasp, which is very on brand for me. But yeah, I loved that you guys included the large beads for some quick, easy stringing. And then I made an earring, which doesn't really feature SilverSilk per se, but it does have the end caps, which make great tassels for the ribbon that you guys included in it.
Heck yeah.
And then just to throw on a bit of chain over the bead. So I think I was actually going to demonstrate this real quick for you.
Do you know what I love that you are, Nealay, and in addition to people asking the question, oh well, how do you use SilverSilk? People also ask how to use fairy silk, and this was a custom ombre dyed piece of fairy silk to match the Amazonite that was in the Magical Mystery Bead box. But it is a design techniques. It's like, oh, I love this product, but how do I use it? So thank you for putting this together. I'm excited to see what you're doing with the fairy silk that came in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it many times as used as a stringing and or chain for like the necklace rope. I thought it'd be fun to do a tassel with it. So I took it up and I just cut it up into small, like, 3-inch pieces. And I took a handful of them. So I think there's 3 here. And I just used some 26 gauge wire to twist it together. And that way I can kind of gather it up. I can grab an end cap, and if you've got a Jesse James Beads cone or whatever, enough to like give it a place to, put it into and squish it. That's really the idea of what I'm doing here. So I'm just opening up the end cap a little more to be able to accommodate putting my little bundled up fairy silk into. And I'm just going to use my pliers to kind of shove it up in there. There we go. And I like to use wide nose pliers that have been dipped in a product called Tool Magic. So whenever I'm crimping this down, it's not going to scar or, mark, nick, whatever my finding. And I pretty much have like an easy tassel on the go. And now I can decorate my bead, which I chose to do with chain just because I loved that it was in there. And I just thought like the softness of the actual, glass bead there and the hardness of the chain was such a cool like dichotomy of materials or juxtaposition, I guess I should say. And so what I'm going to do is grab my round nose pliers, and I've got some 22 gauge wire. This wire itself is kind of a scrap piece that I've kept around, so I hate to toss stuff out if I can use it somewhere. And so I'm just going to create a quick little simple loop, and then I'm going to grab my chain, and I'm going to measure around the bead that I'm choosing to wrap, which looks like it's going to be about right here where I need to pass it through. And I can always adjust it later on, but you simply can just string those items on while you have that open end of the wire. You can go ahead and string your chain through that. Make sure it's a nice tight fit though. And you might have to cut off a link or two to be able to accomplish that. I think I'll have it close enough. I might have to take off one more.
Such a cute design idea to take the chain and overlap it over a bead. That I told y'all, like, and Nealay, I mentioned it to you before. I'll say it again. You are a creative genius, my friend.
Thank you. It's fun coming up with these different ideas. And of course, doing it on camera is one thing. Fiddling around to make it fit is another. So I apologize. I can't hold it still. And I'm trying to see under this camera here.
Yeah, it's a whole nother ball game when you have got a camera and a camera stand and lights and things like that.
I
All the
have to
behind the
kind
scenes
of watch
elements.
around. I can get it. I can get it. Okay, so I'll measure my second side. It looks like it probably wants to go about right here, so I'm just going to slip that right in. The 22 gauge is perfect for this size. And you can, of course, just trim off the rest, and then you just simply do a simple loop there at the top.
Wow.
There we go. That hit something. Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, and then I'll just do like a little simple loop here at the top. No big deal. Like, just kind of cap that right off. Got a little extra, so I'm going to trim that off. And there we go. Cool. So now I'll just like attach all my components and stuff together and pretty much on the go. There we go. And then my earring hook.
Look at the mixed metals, everyone, too. That's so pretty.
I love mixed metals. I know that's like a trigger for some people, but
We're getting over it. We're all together getting over the squariness of mixed metals. Those look so good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And if you're game, I can do one more quick one. And if not, then that's fine.
No, show us. Show us. While we're here, I'm just like, my head is literally so close to the computer screen, just watching Nealay create here. So yes, give us more.
Gladly. Well, I just wanted to kind of do a different type of chain, which was the hollow mesh. And so I went ahead and strung like 8 of those star cut Amazonite beads on one side, found a really stellar crystal for the centerpiece, and then I pride myself in now carrying the 6mm hollow mesh cord ends that have the knit pattern on it. And I picked the silver colorway for this one. And so I strung some beads again that came from that mini mix.
I love that.
Yeah, I love them so much. And they were the perfect. Sarah, the sizing could not be any more perfect.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Yeah, it worked out really well. So what you can put inside of the hollow mesh is anything that is 5mm or under. So if you're at the 4.5, which most of these beads are, you're like in solid shape. And so what I'm going to do is actually cut my hollow mesh to be just a little bit bigger than the stack of beads that I've got going. And when you're cutting hollow mesh, you just want to go around with your cutters. The other thing that I just started doing is I started putting a free tool. If you grab hollow mesh from the store, you can get this cute little dowel tool, and it's 5mm in diameter. And sometimes whenever you have hollow mesh and you accidentally set it down, or maybe like your finger gets in the way, or you press the end and it gets all like jacked up like that is, you can actually grab the tool and work with the knitted wire to start to widen it. And it should, I'm going to start actually at this end where it's clean. It should automatically get it to where it's like nice and fixed again. And you can then truly confirm that 5mm beads will fit inside of it. So from there, all you do is you just kind of string this through, and the beading wire tends to be a little bit knotty. So what I do is I create a quick little loop at the end with a crimp, but I don't crimp it. And this is easy to then just go ahead and string right through. Okay, so then you just sort of slide this down, and I'm going to try and get it over that last bead. I just give it a quick little press so that it's sort of tapered at the end, and then it's ready to insert into the end cap, and you'll basically do the same thing on the other side. If you've got a little bit extra hollow mesh, just go ahead and trim that right off carefully. You don't want to trim your beading wire. And then all you do after that is give it a good squish at the top, string on your end cap on the other side, and you've got this cute little like extra pizzazz happening on the other side. Lots of great textures at work. You can still see the beads, which is really cool, but you just added visual weight to help balance out the size of the beads on the other side. So it's just a really easy, fun way to make a bracelet, but make it yours.
I love that.
And then you just simply crimp it on the other side with, whatever clasp you're using. In this case, I've got my toggle clasp, so that's what I'll do. Oh, you know what? I believe I embellished with an additional bead at the end. So let me see if I can grab that real quick. Just so many options in here. It's unbelievable.
Such a value, Nealay, to be able to also get that tool with your hollow mesh.
Oh yeah, yeah. This was a customer-driven idea. So the hollow mesh too. It's funny to say, but it can't be really created too consistently on the machine. The
Mm,
reason for that is that the wire that I'm doing it with, it's very different depending on the wire gauge, the wire color, how the color is processed and made, the brittleness of the actual wire. So all to say, like, whenever I make a line of the crimp keeps going in there and it's really annoying me. I need to get like an extra beading wire to prevent that from going through. But anyway, sometimes a hollow mesh is a little bit more closed than it should be. And so
mm.
the tool just ensures that it's going to, be the 5 millimeter fill for the inner diameter. But also, again, because I'm so clumsy, I drop a tool on this and then it's just like, what the heck did I just do with my life? And so it's just as easy to like, if you do press it, in the middle of your chain by accident, you can use this cool little tool to like go ahead and just undo what you did. And you'll have your product looking sharp as ever. You can use tools at home too if you've got knitting needles or chopsticks or something, but you know, it's nice to have on hand. Anyway, that's kind of what I had planned, or at least all I had planned for tonight.
Such pretty designs. I would love to see them all together.
Yeah, yeah, we'll
Like,
do it.
what's really cool here, and I know we're about to get the full visual experience of this, is that Nealay with the silver silk chains for the month of May, and also with the Magic Mystery Bead Box, we've got a full collection of jewelry. Look at
Yes,
that. Look at that. And what am I trying to say? I love like jewelry sets that coordinate but aren't like super matchy matchy. And all of this hits the nail on the head with that.
it's like a runway show. We're basically like making a little fashion collection here.
Oh my gosh. You are
Called
like speaking to the beat of my heart right now.
Didn't quite close this up correctly.
They're so pretty.
But yeah, I've got like that, and then let's see, my pendant over here.
Wow.
This is all like centered, but
But wait, there's more. Oh
but
my
right
gosh.
there we go. I think that's everything.
Wow, this is really cool too because you use I think it like with those 2 bracelets, it looks like you used a half of a strand of the
Hmm.
stones that were included in the kit, and the other half is with the other one, and then I know that you have even more hollow mesh left over, so all the stuff that Nealay has made here is, like, literally could be made with 1 bead box and a
Absolutely.
couple eyes on the Silver Silk website. Dang,
Yeah.
now really you should take I might wanna take a picture of I wanna take a picture of my computer screen right now, it's so
Well, I also wanted to go ahead and say one more thing real quick.
Yeah, say it.
Because I pulled out the colors.
Yes, please show us all the colors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is really the interesting part of like how diverse this particular collection was. So
Mm,
I'd mentioned the pipe chain, which is the antique copper color over the tubing that you can fill with whatever. If you have craft wire or leather cord, anything that's under 1.5 millimeters will fit
or
right
memory wire will go
in.
through that
Yes.
too.
Oh my gosh, the memory wire has been such a hit with the pipe chain. It's like revolutionary for the jewelry designs, and
It's
there's so
I've been
much
paying
content.
attention. I've seen the designs made with it, guys. They're so cool. That memory wire with that pipe chain. Woof.
Well, with what Jesse James Bead's campers are doing and the Silkies group, it's just unbelievable. But I did want to call out the findings that go to and attribute to each of these. So these are pipe chain end caps, which cover the raw ends of pipe chain.
Yes.
You've got capture chain, which is that beautiful baby blue color that we looked at. And
Uh-huh.
for that, I have this single strand end caps that you can use to crimp over the ends. We saw that with the double strand end caps on the tassel.
Right.
And then the 3 needle. which is great because you guys have so many beads that fit the 3-needle chain
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
So for me, the 3-needle is an easy way to add chain to your design
Hmm.
on the fly. And so I actually developed these small little end caps also with the custom plating that you can just use some jewelry glue to, glue into those. And then finally, hollow mesh, which we just used, and you guys saw me use the hollow mesh cord ends for those. And so hopefully this clears up some of the questions and maybe ambiguity around like what to use for what. But this is sort of the color palette that I was excited to release. And it really is just a wonderful coordinated feel
Wow.
with the beads, like the beads and everything. And there's just so much more that I haven't even touched yet that were that was inside of the actual box itself. So, you get a lot of components and stuff left over to do more stuff with, or you can, get crazy and create an entire collection in line.
Yeah, I love that you can totally design a collection. And Nealay just called this like a runway. What did you say? We're like fashion runway jewelry right here. Nealay said it better than me, but
I can't remember what I said.
it's like this is like a runway jewelry collection. It's like a spring 2024 jewelry line.
Yeah.
Modern Bohemian,
Modern
magical mystery,
Bohemian.
silver silk collaboration.
Yes, all of those amazing things and so much more. And so it's kind of also a nice, like, I don't know, a nice little stamp in time to like look back on this and say, oh, I remember this particular collection from this. And, it's exciting to look at. It gets my design brain just excited to like see what else I can come up with later. And if I don't ever come up with anything else, it is a nice way to reference familiar techniques that I've already learned and reapply them and see how I can remix it for a future box.
Yeah, because even if you were to apply like a similar technique, but the colors are gonna be different, the beads are gonna be different, it'll have a different look. So maybe like for instance, if you're a jewelry designer, if you're making and creating and selling, for instance, if you have a jewelry design, like say the pipe chain and the asymmetrical bracelet really does well for you with your sales, you could make that with the May Magical Mystery Bead Box, and then you could know like coming up, the next month or a few months later, okay, well, if I have tiny beads from the box and Nealay produces a hollow mesh, I'm going to be able to reproduce that design over again with a different color palette. And my customers that loved that design the first go around, they're going to love it again the second time. So a lot of cool inspiration and ways of thinking of how design theory can be applied with different bead types, with different colors.
Absolutely. I love that you said reproduction because I think as designers, we kind of forget and we've experienced the high of making something already and we're looking for that new thing whenever we have
Right.
customers. So it's either new to them or they want more of what we already are giving them. But it's easy for us to move on, right? So
Yeah.
it's nice to kind of step back and say, oh, I had like 6 people that wanted this sort of bracelet and I can't move on yet. I need to make more of these.
Yeah.
So we
But
have that ability.
like make more of them, but also be creating something new so that your own creative mojo and what you've got going on inside is satisfied as well.
Exactly. Like it's funny. And you mentioned already, like just the difference of materials makes the entire, design look different
Right.
in such a way, but you're using the same techniques to kind of give the same layout, the same asymmetrical feel that
Totally.
the customers come back for.
Speaking of asymmetrical feel, Neelay's got a really cool project that he has planned for us for JJB summer camp this year. So as you may have, if you've been watching us from the beginning, you've caught in the gist that me and Nealay love to collaborate together. We've been working together for a long time. And Neelay's coming back for our 5th year of Jesse James Beads summer camp. So JJB Summer Camp is our online learning event. It takes course over the place of 1 week. All the classes are held live online via StreamYard. We have y'all come over to StreamYard to watch. And then we also create a Google Drive and send that to you in case you can't catch a class while it's live. We're able to send that to you and you can watch it on demand whenever you want to. You have it in your private video stash. But anyway, I said to Nealay, hey, it's our 5th year. I love SilverSilk. Our campers love SilverSilk. Like, I want to get SilverSilk involved in more than one project. So we've
I
got.
know. I was like, are you gonna tell people?
I am going to. Yes, yes, I am. I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. So we've got Nealay, who is going to be using like beautiful cup chain that we've custom designed. This cup chain is insane. Like, the picture that I have online doesn't do it justice because it's like wild. And Nealay is going to be using his pearlesque cup chain, or pearlesque silver silk chains for his project. And we're also inviting for the first time ever Miss Rachel Malice. And Rachel Malice is using 3-needle silver silk chain,
which is perfect. 2 amazing chains. I'm gonna give the credit for Rachel for being an amazing designer. I'm like borderline.
Yeah. Well, Rachel is really good. She like came up with a design and she just sketched it out. She's like, can you get this?
Amazing.
How about quartz crystal points, center drilled, and silver silk 3-needle, and how about some beads? And I'm like, yep, on it.
Wow.
It's gonna be so cool.
She's fierce, so fierce. I've seen her design work, and it is like, it's just unbelievable. She's just, I don't know. She's a star in so many ways. She's a star, which is funny because it's sort of the camp. My camp project theme is star related. So
yeah. Nealay's summer camp project is Aurora Borealis, which we both thought was like very fitting with the Aurora Borealis that struck the country a few weeks ago or a month ago.
I know. I couldn't see it from where I was though, and I think the only way that I could have is if I took pictures of it, which I just didn't. But mine was obstructed with trees and stuff, so I couldn't see it.
Well, we will get to experience the Aurora Borealis with Nealay at JJB Summer Camp this
You'll get to
summer.
wear it. That's even better.
You'll get to wear it. Yeah, even cooler. Nealay, it is always so fun dreaming and scheming and hanging out with you. Like, every time we get together, I'm just like floating a little bit afterwards. So
same here. I love your energy. I feel it like absorbing into me, and it gets me inspired and excited and reinvigorated always. So, and anytime like I get to just spend time with a bead buddy, like, bring it.
Yeah, it's like the more, it's like we're not together, but we're like, yeah, you're right there. Yep. And I can't thank you enough from on behalf of myself and all of the Magical Mystery Beadbox subscribers. Thank you for coming up with such cool, out of the box, silver silk reimaginations and additional tutorials for us to use with our Magical Mystery Beadbox beads.
Yeah, I love seeing what everyone else creates. It gets me excited, and I love seeing what JJB continues to innovate, push, cause excitement, come up with some great ideas. So I feel like I'm in the perfect camp with you guys. And yeah, I guess on that theme, I'm excited about the camp coming up.
Yay, summer camp.
Summer camp.
5 years. It's crazy. It's crazy to think it's been 5 years since quarantine COVID, because that's when summer camp came to be. And 5 years of JJB summer camp is coming up right now. Some of our campers have been with us for all 5 years, and we do special repeat offender gifts for our 4th year. So if you've done 4, you get a special something. And if you've done 5, you get something else special too.
I love the extras that you guys put into the actual camp and the camp kit stuff. It's just it's so camp, for the lack of better term. Very campy and very I don't know. I love that stuff. The t-shirts and stuff that you guys come up with.
Yeah.
It's not just a boxed kit. Like, it's an experience.
Summer camp.
Yeah, it is. It's summer camp.
We get to be weird and funny and silly and like hang out with our community for a week. It's awesome. I love it. And I love all of our instructors so much. Like, it's really a thrill to be able to coordinate all these things. It's a lot of hard work. I'll say that. But it is so very, very fulfilling and worth it to be able to do that for our community, our campers, and to be able to work with such amazing designers like Rachel Malice, like Nealay Patel, like Meredith Roddy and Danielle Wicks and Jem Hawks. Like I go on and on about the incredible designers. Beads of Courage is here this year. Like I could just go on and on about how blessed I feel to be in touch with you guys, because it's our designers that are like really the secret sauce, and you educate us and inspire us. And I can't thank y'all enough. Nealay, thank you.
Thank you guys. It's not an easy event to put on, but I know and appreciate how much hard work, sweat,
Thanks.
and tears go into that. So,
Woo!
and it shows at the end. I mean, everyone has a great time. There's some amazing projects that come out of it. You
Yeah.
learn so many new things, and you refine what you already know and make it extra. You make it better, and so yeah, it's an experience to definitely. And I would say, even though it's a fifth year, it's like it's one of those things that is kind of once in a lifetime thing, because it's never the same every year either. You
Right.
get like a whole new experience with different types of designers and different types of designs and stuff. And I don't know. I'm a huge fan of the virtual community too. So
Me too. I feel like I love it more and more. You know, at first, when we first got these things started 5 years ago, it was weird. It was like, okay, I'm on a screen. Like, do I have pajama
exactly.
pants on, like from the below half down, or like what is even going on? But now it's like we're really embracing it, and I get to, you know, hang out with my friend Nealay on a Wednesday afternoon,
On a
and he's
fly.
in
Yeah,
Oklahoma and I'm in Colorado. So like, heck yeah, to that shiny, like crystal encrusted silver lining right there.
exactly. Yeah. There's just, it's like you said, we kind of became closer, even though distance wise we're not, but
Ah,
we don't have to skip a beat anymore. We can just kind of seamlessly work together, do projects together, and still have, time to do our own thing too. So it's been fantastic.
amen.
Yes.
Nealay, thanks again for coming out tonight. And thank you for all of our Magical Mystery Bead Box subscribers, our makers and dreamers out there, all of the Silver Silkies. Thanks for coming to hang out with Nealay and I tonight.
It's been a pleasure, and I echo Sarah's sentiments. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and hopefully, you guys are inspired, invigorated, and want to create some beautiful things from the box. If you haven't grabbed it already, you should. You can also use a coupon code that's on the Silver Silk online menu.
Yeah.
So don't forget about that.
Yeah. Thanks, Nealay, for mentioning that one. All right, y'all. Well, happy making, everyone. Enjoy your Wednesday evening. And Nealay, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, friend.
Absolutely. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.